Good afternoon. My name is Barbara Tillett. I'm RN. I am doing a leadership book review for the University of Texas Arlington MSN program requirements. The class is under Dr. Candy Constantine. The book that we're going to be reviewing today is titled The Truth About Leadership. The authors of this book is James Koos and Barry Posner. If you'd like to go out and purchase this book after this review, here's a picture of it so that you'd know what it looks like when you're at the bookstore. James Koos is one of the authors. He is an award-winning author. He's published several books, The Truth About Leadership we're talking about today, also The Leadership Challenge and A Leader's Legacy. Those are just a few we'd like to mention today. He's received numerous awards for these books. They're top sellers, award-winning. He's also the Dean Executive Professor of Leadership at the Levy School and Santa Clara University. According to his bio on the Premier Speakers Bureau website, some interesting tidbits about him is he was also in the Peace Corps and the Eagle Scouts. So he has kind of a broad spectrum on leadership skills, not just in the business area. Co-authoring the book is Barry Posner. According to the website bigspeak.com, the book was awarded Book of the Year by the American Council of Healthcare Executives and the Critics' Choice Award. The International Management Council recognized Barry Posner as one of the top management and leadership educators in the nation. He is an Accolade Endowed Professor of Leadership at the Levy School of Business, Santa Clara University, along with Dr. James Koos. He's also published more than 90 articles in numerous professional journals. This makes them both very adequate and credentialed to write this book. Now let's talk a little bit about the purpose and the audience. The purpose of this book is to introduce new leaders to the basic principles and the foundations of leadership, as well as a refresher course to experienced leaders who maybe just want to return to the basics of leadership and kind of retouch with the foundations of it. The book lists and describes in detail 10 truths that the authors felt were the fundamentals of leadership. The truths were making a difference, credibility, values, future, collaboration, trust, challenge, be an example to be a leader, and it must come from the heart. Leadership comes from the heart. Now, there were some strengths that I liked a lot about this book, but there was also some weaknesses that would be unfair if I didn't mention. Koos and Posner did over 30 years of researches and case studies, including their educational expertise. All of that went in to their development of this book and coming up with the 10 truths. And that's a really strong strength is that it's evidence-based. It's not a technical read. A beginner student would be able to understand the book just as well as an educated person. It's very straightforward. It has examples and stories that you can relate to. And those are some great strengths that I liked about a book. But some of the weaknesses, each chapter describes the truth, but it seems to be very drawn out, very wordy. It could have been summarized maybe in a little less pages or maybe in a journal article entry versus a whole book. It also makes leadership appear easy. Everything's a step-by-step process. So if you're doing one of the things it talks about in the book under one of the truths, if your followers aren't going along with it and you don't have the ideal followers or the ideal situation and there's a deviation in the planned outcome, the book really doesn't tell you what to do in those type of situations. So it doesn't really talk about difficult management situation. It talks more about the ideal situation. There's no real new information. Everything's based on the last 30 years and how things have been and just kind of research, but nothing new to develop on. But overall, I like the book. I believe the author's objective was met because the book is a bestseller and it's won numerous awards and recognition. So if the book was not doing what it intended to do, then I don't believe you got those awards or sold as many copies. It does simplify the principles of basic leadership that's been around for 30 years. So like I said, I would recommend this book as a beginner leadership book for individuals who's newly going into a leadership role. However, I would recommend that they continue their quest for leadership knowledge by supplementing the book with other leadership books as well. Because again, this is a basic foundation. Okay, and if you want to go back and review any of your references, here's my reference page if you'd like to look up any of the information that we talked about. Do you have any questions, concerns, anything we'd like to talk about today? Okay. Thank you very much, and I appreciate you coming and reviewing my book review.